Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Kakadash. We give double honors to our apostles and Elder Great Millstone. Also say shalom to all the Akim out there. Appreciate his truth. And all true city is the brother Tazon Kobar from the GMS Miami, the heralds of Yahushai. 144 came back with another video through the Spirit. Before I start this video, I'm going to touch up on the true names of the Heavenly Father and His Son. Start with the Heavenly Father, who they so called God. His true name is Yahweh. Which his name means He is, He exists, and the true name of His Son. Who they're ignorantly called Jesus Christ. So it's Jésus Christ. In Haitian Creole, it's Jesus Christos. In Spanish, his true name is Yahweh Shai. Which his name means He saves, He delivers. Which He's soon about to do according to prophecy, as far as of His second coming and saving the elect members, because they was doing what they had to do. Out of the 12 tribes, the so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, but those are the true people, who goes back to the Lord's chosen people. And today's title, when I titled the video, Rehearsing the Righteous Act, or Following the Sabbath. Okay, when you come to this truth, you understand the Sabbath. It's not Friday, Saturday, neither is it Sunday. And part of this truth, we understand that the Lord, holds accountable. Learning what the Lord holds us accountable after learning what the true Sabbath is. With that goes back to rehearsing the righteous acts. Key point, key reason. Why it says rehearse, because we try, to the best of our ability, even into the midst of our captivity. Okay. This is Judges 5, verse 11. They that are delivered from the noise of the archers in the place of the drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts. Rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even the righteous acts towards the inhabitants of His villages in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates. Okay, they that deliver from the noise of the archers in the place of the drawing water, aka in our land of where we're captive. Okay, aka America. Here where we are rehearsing our righteous acts, constantly trying to appease the Lord by, following His commandments. The scripture says, if you love me, keep my commandments. If you love me, keep my commandments. If you love me, keep my commandments. Keep my commandments. It's like it. John 14:5 says, if you love me, keep my commandments. And part of commandments, or you go to, I believe it's Exodus chapter 20, if I'm mistaken, 20 or 21, 20, yep. It says, Exodus chapter 20, verse 8, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Remember to observe the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. Okay, 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh, which they're really going to the seventh, it took the Lord 6,000 years, because one day of the Lord is up to 1,000 years, and at a point in time He rested. Read that in Genesis. It says, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord, thy power, and if thou shalt not, in it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor the stranger that's within the gates. Okay, so Lord made a specific day where we put a rest. But knowing that we are in our day of our captivity in the hands of our enemies, we try to do it to the best of our ability. Hence 4 or 5, we just read Judges 5:11, rehearsing. Okay, so when it comes to the Sabbath, it's a certain way you put a hold yourself, or keeping it holy, or not having sex on the Sabbath, and all these certain other things, man. Or keeping it holy. So what is the Sabbath? The Sabbath goes by the new moon. Which, how do we dictate the new moon? It's by the moon. All right, the coming of the new moon dictates, all right, the Sabbath. Okay, how do we know that? All right, let's start off with Isaiah chapter 66, verse 23. Okay, it says for, it's like here, Isaiah 66, verse 3, and it shall come to pass from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, said the Lord. All right, and then the new moon is brought in every month. Okay, because the moon, all right, dictates the month. Okay, which that word, I'm going into it. Where is that? That word new, okay, goes into Kadash. The new moon, monthly, the first day of the month. Which the new moon dictates the first day of the month. It also dictates, the moon dictates the signs. Also dictates the signs, the Sabbath. Okay. And in this day, all right, the Lord used the moon so we be able to know when it's the Sabbath. All right. How do we know this? We can go to Amos. It's like not Amos, Sirach. If I got it already, Sirach. I believe it's 33 verse 6. Sirach 33 verse 6, if I'm not mistaken. 33 or 32. No, it's not Sirach. Slakia. Is it Sirach or 2nd Kings? 2nd Kings 4. 23 says, and he said, wherefore would thou go to him today? It is a new moon nor Sabbath. And she said, it shall be well. Because the reason why it says is because the new moon and the Sabbath, it correlates with each other. Same thing how we just read in Isaiah 66 verse 23. All right, this still connects with the topic, but I'm really looking for that precept where it goes into how the Lord has the moon to dictate the signs and the times. I believe it is in Sirach though. Sirach, I think it's Sirach 43 and 6. Sirach 43, not 33, 43. God, Sirach 43 and 6, he made the moon also to serve in her season for the declaration of times and the sign of the world. Okay, from the moon is the sign of the feast and light that decrees her perfection. All right, for the Lord made the moon, okay, anew to serve in her season for declaration of times. Our times like the days, the weeks, the months, and the years, but also the time of where to know when it's the Sabbath. Okay, this is important because that's how it was originally, made upon earth. Okay, there wasn't no Friday and Saturday. These things are new. There wasn't a Sunday. All right, the Lord had it where it was all original. Okay. And within the Sabbath, there's certain things you can't do. Once again, you can't have sex on the Sabbath. You define the day. You can't buy or sell certain things, man. Matter of fact, let me back that up with Amos chapter 8. Point is in 5. I'm reading at 4. Hear this, O ye that swallow up the needy, even to make the poor of the land to fail, saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell, and the Sabbath? See the correlation? The new moon be gone, that we may sell corn, and the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah smell, and the shekel great, and phosphate in the balance of the sea. Our people back there understand that the new moon was the Sabbath, and it correlate with each other. All right, and through knowledge, we understand on the Sabbath day where not to technically buy or sell. All right, hence for why it says, saying, when would the new be begun that we may sell corn? Okay, so the people have the understanding that there's certain things you couldn't do. All right, why, I'm bringing up these precepts to connect to each other. All right, what time, it's the Sabbath. And how can we tell? Okay, by looking at the moon. And what time is the new moon? Is when the moon looks like it's getting refreshed. All right, when you look up to the sky and you don't see the moon, all right, which that in a sense also too signifies, what's it back to B? Signifies the coming of the new month. All right, go back to Isaiah 66, verse 23. It says, because let's go into that word new. And once again, new moon, Kadash. I'm going to the root word. It says to be new, to renew and repair. To renew, to make new, to repair. So when the new moon comes in, aka the Sabbath, when you look up, it look like it's refreshing because it's gonna be black, or it's gonna be, you're not really gonna see it. That's what starts the new refreshing of the moon, which it makes sense. Okay, henceforth why the Lord did it like that, to start off the new month. All right, the new month, the new moon, all right, correlates with the Sabbath. All right, and knowing these things, going back to what we previously said in the beginning of the video, we got to rehearse the righteous acts. All right, knowing the times. Okay, especially understanding how did people live back then in a sense. All right, people didn't have a calendar of Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Are you thinking about when the Lord really originated and made these things? People had signs in the skies. All right, you had the moon. You look up in the moon, you was able to tell, okay, all right, we in the third week, second week. The moon is waning. Within the fourth week to get into the new moon and things of that sort. All right. Which, at soon time is going to go back to his old ways. All right, when everything is refreshed with the coming of Yahweh Shai and everything is set upon to how the Lord originally had it set forth. All right. And it's important to know these things so we get deceived by these different doctrines going to the Sabbath being Friday, Saturday, and, Sunday, which Sunday and itself go back to a different philosophy with the sun god and so on, man. All right, so yeah, man, the new moon, all right, is the Sabbath. All right, the Sabbath is based off the new moon. The moon is being used to measure the times. The moon dictates when each month will come in. All right, the moon, which is the first day of the month, begins to count for the rest of the month. Okay. All right. Throw out my side for the signs. Throw out my side for the scripture called the ordinances. Okay, for we're able to know, especially especially we're gonna need to know certain things, especially for the Sabbath when our hell break loose. You gonna have a phone, you have the calendar. How you gonna be able to dictate when it's just happening and things of that sort? We're still gonna have to keep it through the Spirit. All right. So it's important to know when it's the Sabbath. Okay. So low one is views edifying. It was a quick video through the Spirit. Give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Kakadash. Give double honors to our apostles and others. Give most on. Say shalom to all the Akim out there. Preaching his truth. Now, true city. I'm going to say Abatam. Wa shalom.